Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Hey, what's happening? Happy Tuesday. Good morning and welcome onto the End of the Bench on 100.7 The Score, 107thescore.com, and yours worldwide on the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Brought to you, as always, by Happy State Bank, alongside the one and only Geoff Haxton. I'm Chois Woodman. We got Lucas White across the way taking care of us as usual. You too can join us. Your thoughts, comments, questions, more reaction. If you want to react to what you saw over the weekend, still got room for that on the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Yates Flooring Center chat line open to you there. We've got our Tiers of 12 coming up a little bit later. We'll call it 9:45. Feel like you're settling in on the Big 12 conference a little more?
No, absolutely not. Yeah.
No. Most of the time, I would say it's fair to say if we were doing power rankings of some sort at this point in the season, we feel like we know the league a little bit. Every stinking week, it has been different and difficult to judge, and this past week, no different. Like, Baylor and Texas Tech were supposed to be, like, next to each other in the standings. Like, they were supposed to be the same team, essentially.
Kansas State and Oklahoma State were too.
They were supposed to be the same team, and then two massive blowouts in each of those games. So, our Tiers of 12 should be pretty interesting coming up at 9:45.
Tiers of 12!
How'd your Halloween go?
That's fun. It was like the entire city said, let's meet, and over by Upland Heights Elementary. It was amazing how early everybody got started.
Yeah, I've noticed that's happening.
I was just shocked because I went and looked for Jenna Cape, which was not successful at that hour. And I got back at about
Halloween
6.
Did you go to Spirit?
No.
Do we have a Spirit here? So there's got to be a pop-up somewhere.
Yeah.
I think it's adjacent to the mall. I think it took one of those big mall. Kind of. I think it's where Sears used to be.
The old
Best. I think it was the old Sears.
The old Best Buy is a overstocked mattress place. I think.
Yeah, it is. So,
but I rolled back into the neighborhood, and it was already a flood of kids. I was like, what happened to wait until it was at least close to dark?
No, I don't really do that anymore.
I know.
I think it's a safety thing. I don't know. It's like my neighborhood, we pulled out, so we had football first last night. Neil had a game, last game of the season.
How to get more touchdowns for Neil?
3 más.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So,
how many on the year? Like double digits?
14.
14 Neil touchdowns.
14 on the year. So
I was bragging about Perry getting 1, and Neil's over here with 14.
No, it's anyway, so we were heading out to the game, and kids, like at 4:45, we started seeing them getting out. I'm like, are you kidding? We set our candy out, because we would be home later, so hopefully.
The best thing that I think I saw was the community Facebook page. At about 8 o'clock, they also went out for early evening, but they had their Ring doorbell. Okay. And so they left out their bucket of candy.
Okay.
And the first kids that came up just took the whole thing.
No.
And they got them on camera.
Come on, kid.
And so is this little kid dressed like a hot dog.
Ask me. Never mind. Go on.
Yeah. Just pillaging this family's bucket. And you could hear them. They're like, share, man. Like little thieves were like, just shaking it, just dumping it in their bags.
No.
Yeah.
Little Halloweener? Come on.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Golly, it was funny. I mean, it was bad.
See,
but
we don't have the doorbell cam. I don't know if we should. We're like late to the party on that. Do you have one?
Yes.
We'll probably get one soon.
Yeah.
But anyway, we don't have the doorbell cam, so we set it out on Honor System, a big old cauldron of candy, and put a sign on the door, said, don't ring the doorbell, just take 3 pieces of candy. And most of it was gone when we got there. We have no idea. Did one kid take almost all of it? Oh, come on, kids. Parents, teach your kids better.
I sat out there in the Skull for a long time, and they, I'd say 70% of kids will take 1 and 2 and be very polite.
Yeah.
And then it's about 15% that'll grab a handful, and then the others, however many percent, are just bashful and, kind of have you put it in the bag. But I loved it. It was jumping, and then afterwards cook some burgers, and really good Halloween.
Very nice. Very nice. We'll take your Halloween stories, horror stories, good stories, whatever you want to get in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through the 100.7 Score mobile app. The one thing I don't get is, like, parents, coach your kids before they go out, because we're driving up and down the street in the golf cart, and that we would see kids go. There are clearly the houses that don't want you to knock on the door or ring the doorbell. They're completely blacked out. If there's not a porch light on, that's a general rule, right? No porch light, don't go ring the doorbell. They're not going to give you candy. So, yeah, I mean, you'd think that they'd be coached. And most are good. Like you said, the majority are doing the right thing, but you get those little hooligans out there. They deserve a trick instead of a treat. Anyway, we'll hear some comments. Getting back to football, we'll hear some comments from Joey McGuire. He spoke to the media yesterday. We're 6 days out from tipping off the season. It's Monday, Hax. Don't show up on Tuesday.
Okay, yeah. I was over there yesterday.
Yeah, you were there. So Red Raiders getting ready to open the season against the Purple Demons, right?
Demons.
Yeah, but
yeah,
the Northwestern State coming up on
most famous
Monday.
For their 2006 win over Iowa in first round. It was 3-14.
Have they even been back to the tournament since then? Yeah, I didn't think they had been back. They've been a team that I would say Tech plays them at least every other year.
They play in it's a rodeo arena / basketball arena.
Is this Natchez?
Natchitoches.
Okay. Natchitoches, Louisiana, where the old Purple Demons of Northwestern State are from. But, yeah, we'll talk a little basketball today, getting you ready for the season ahead there. Some, normal walkthrough games, essentially, to start the season, then on to Maui pretty quick after that. So
3, and then on to Maui. They secret scrimmaged UTEP
yeah,
over the weekend, and it's going to be interesting. Pop looked good again yesterday.
lot to still learn.
Yeah.
I think these first 3 games very much a information gathering period.
I think the biggest concern is interior.
Should be interesting. We'll get into that. Of course, Tech football, more reaction from the weekend. One of my favorite NIL deals is out, and I've got a list of the candy that kids are okay if you steal today. It's the end of the bench. Some headlines next on 100.7 The Score.
Definitely not the starters. You're on the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Appreciate you making us part of your Tuesday. You're listening to the End of the Bench on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. He's Geoff Haxton. I'm Chois Woodman. These are your headlines for this Tuesday, November the 1st. It's a pretty good day in Texas Tech history. We'll get to that coming up in a little bit when we check the calendar. But for today, 2 fresh headlines coming out for Texas Tech football. We've got Tony Bradford Jr. being named one of 12 semifinalists for the Werfel Trophy. which is given. It's the best award given for community service in college football. There's not a better person that you're going to find anywhere in the country than Tony Bradford. He's a fantastic dude, great football player, as we've seen, but he's a guy that truly, truly cares about making a positive example, making a difference off of the football field. So Bradford, a great Red Raider, and named one of 12 semifinalists for that Warfel Trophy. Another trophy, Tyree Wilson has been tabbed a semifinalist for the Chuck Bednarik Award watch list, where he is. That's narrowed down to 20 semifinalists for the top defense. I believe this one's the top defensive player in the country, Bednarik. Trying to figure out. Anyway, so far Wilson has paced Tech with 11.5 tackles for loss this season and 6.5 sacks. If you look around, you're going to find his name all over the place on draft boards, anywhere from, I think I've seen him as high as 5 in the last week.
Wow.
5 overall. I don't know what to expect, but he's sprinkled all over the first round. If you're into that kind of projection stuff, but Tyree Wilson, not much surprise that he's a semifinalist for that. He's about as much as of a shoe-in as you've got for an All Big 12 member when the season comes to a close. Just 4 games left. That's it. Elsewhere, the World Series got rained out last night. I don't like the Astros, but clever post on the socials. It's not always sunny in Philadelphia. Touche. Good job. A 1-1 series tie in that they have pushed all games back a day. So the entire World Series schedule has just been pushed back a day. So Game 4 was supposed to be today. Now Game 3. Game 4 will be tomorrow. Game 5 will be Thursday. They'll be off on Friday and then play again on Saturday and Sunday if needed for Game 6 and 7. But Game 3 coming up this evening. You'll hear the game at 6:30 over on Double T 97.3. You can also check out the High School Fan Zone here on 100.7 The Score at 7 o'clock as coaches from Monterey and Lubbock High will join Tommy Wood in the First United Bank studio coming up this evening. Hax, I mentioned last week that we had a stretch of 28 straight days of football. You going to be tuning into any action tonight?
There's a possibility.
Yeah, if I'm doing nothing else, like Tuesday night, I'll probably watch World Series over Maction, but I might.
Yeah, I will too.
Might flip over.
Yeah, yesterday I wasn't feeling it, but then last night I was like, hey, let's turn on the World Series. Oh, yeah.
It's like, last night I was the same way. I'm like, I could catch the back end of the World Series. I'm like, dang it. Got canceled. So Ball State can't stay. And part of the reason is because you had a stinker for Monday Night Football again. Not much of a game there. I'm like, can't really watch that. I watched the whole Eli and Peyton thing, which apparently he just released his Peyton's Places season 3 on the ESPN Plus, and there's an episode with Patrick Mahomes out there. So anybody interested in that?
You look like a completely different person.
I trim the beard a lot. I decided it's November 1st. If you're doing the No Shave November thing, I got to start fairly fresh.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna crank that up too.
Yeah, if we're gonna do that, you gotta start.
Isn't that just
fresh.
with mustaches though?
No, that's Movember. There's 2 options: No Shave November, that's just like everything, and then Movember is just a mustache. You going that route today? Mustache? We haven't seen you with just, or are you gonna go like full on?
No, I think I'm gonna hack it.
Looks like
hack it down.
Tombstone.
Yeah, that's fun too.
Yeah.
And then I'll start fresh, see how it looks by.
Hack it down all the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get a picture with me and the bird later, and I'll shave it off.
It's November 1st. It's the time to do it. Join us. Your thoughts, your comments, your questions, all welcome. Oh, one more note that people might be interested in. Lady Raiders have an exhibition game tonight. I have not seen. Is this free to the public? I think it is. Haven't seen that. Someone clarify for me if you know.
I think it is.
I think this is free to the public if you want to go watch the exhibition game tonight at United Supermarkets Arena. It doesn't count against the schedule, but it is open for viewing if you want to.
What's Midwestern State's mascot?
I keep wanting to say Texan, but that's Tarleton. Do you know?
Should.
Cowboy?
Mustang.
I actually think
Here comes the Midwestern State Cowboy.
doesn't fit. I should know this. Sorry, Todd Petty, for not knowing.
Yeah, they're in the tech system.
Yeah, they are. No, but he went. I think he was the star at Midwestern State. One of those days. I think they may be. I think they used to be like a warhawk or something like that. I think they were some sort of Indian. You know what? I think they were the Indians. Who said Mustang? That's what they are now. Apparently, in 2005, they went from Indians. There it goes. From Indians to Mustangs. So
Okay.
they were one of the schools that had to do the switch. Murray State did the same thing down in Abilene. They were the Murray State Indians, and I think they're the ones that went to Warhawks since. All right, get your thoughts in, your comments, your questions. Sooner Lubbock helped us out. Mustangs is correct. Blaine said had someone knocking on the door at 5:15 last night.
It's too early.
I think 5:30 is kind of at least the bottom line. Definitely not before 5:30, but 6 o'clock feels more normal. Not complaining, but did someone forget to throw a switch or something? Because you guys are actually on the TV. Hello.
Sombrero.
Dang. I don't know if that was like 17 minutes ago, so I don't know if that's still a thing. But no, we're not in control of that on our side. That's the folks over at Fox 34. So they probably forgot to throw a switch. I would doubt we're still on.
This will be interesting.
Let's see. Hey! They broke it.
Sombrero time.
Dang it, we should have had our sombreros on standby in case this ever happened. We are on TV. Hi, Mom. This from the chat line. We had some college kids showing up at 10 p.m. Strange AF, and I told them to get bent.
Get bent.
Get bent. Get out of here. Someone else sent a picture of a wiener costume.
By the way, the hot dog restaurant there on Milwaukee.
Yeah.
I drove by there. They had a dude in full hot dog costume.
Awesome.
And I tell you, I was laughing pretty hard. He could probably see me laughing because the mouth of the hot dog is where he could see through. So, I mean, it was a big costume.
Yeah.
So I got to tell you a story. This is going to make me look so bad, but I got to tell you.
Okay.
So I've told you a little bit about the 14-year-old and the costume, right? Kind of hard to define. So I said, Cameron, tell me what you're going for.
Okay.
And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. What are you going for? What do you mean? What are you?
What are you?
What are you? You're getting ready to go out. What are you? This is devastating. She said, well, I guess I'm a stripper cowgirl. I fell down.
What did you tell her? Go put a jacket on.
Well, she did. She put a sweater on.
Okay.
Thank God.
Wow.
But I was like, I'm a failure. You're and I went to Jen. I was like, you enabled all this, right?
Mm.
You were there when this was purchased. You.
I blame you.
14 years old.
Good luck. Oh, goodness gracious.
I just wanted to give up on life at that moment.
All right. That's rough. Get your questions in, your comments. All welcome on the 8th Flooding
Guess
Center
a
chat
stripper
line.
cowgirl.
You know how you alter that? You wear the same thing as her and embarrass her. You could do it. Say, I'm going whatever you're going as. Be a stripper cowboy. It's the end of the bench
Yeah, great idea.
on
Schwab.
100.7 The Score.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
On to hour number 2, it's the End of the Bench on 100.7 The Score, 107thescore.com, and the 100.7 The Score mobile app, brought to you as always by Happy State Bank. Alongside Geoff Haxton, I'm Chois Woodman. Lucas White taking care of us here for another hour today. You too can join us. Your thoughts, your comments, your questions, hopes, dreams, all welcome on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Got plenty to dive into over the next 2 hours. We'll hear some comments from Coach McGuire coming up a little bit later as well. My favorite NIL deal.
Last year was homeboy from KU and the Applebee's for me.
That was pretty good, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
A Colorado offensive lineman is the first NIL underwear model.
Huh!
First NIL underwear model. You want to see the pictures?
No.
Okay.
I am good.
Something called Shinesty. This is an underwear. Has tabbed offensive lineman Tommy Brown as the first underwear model. He says, quote, "When you have a body this good, you deserve to be paid." Just a little, little shot. He has an offensive lineman's body. So, I love it. That's great. Good for him. How do offensive linemen have so much confidence? Some of those guys are like the most confident people you'll ever meet.
Well, they know they can't be challenged by much in regular life.
That's true. True.
After a Saturday of taking on, equal warriors, they're like, yeah, hey, we're good. We survived that on Saturday. Anything goes on the week.
Speaking of weird photo shoots, did you see the Wyoming basketball photo shoot?
Oh my! What?
I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if it's supposed to look like he's guarding him, but instead it looks like a
loving
Titanic
him.
photo. Yeah, he's loving him out in the woods too,
by a fire
in the dark. There's a basketball involved.
Wyoming's preseason photo shoot was something.
So yeah, Wyoming basketball, which how Xerox U is OSU. It sure looks like Wyoming just changed the colors on their Cowboys unis.
Oh yeah, you want to talk about some theft?
Script.
That has actually gone to court.
Oh, for them stealing
Pistol Pete. Yeah.
Pistol Pete.
Yeah.
All right, Hack. So
and New Mexico State too.
Oh really? Oh, I guess the New Mexico State one I could see. I just haven't seen the Wyoming stuff. Candies that the kids are okay if you steal. They don't. So
I'll tell you this, Perry. As I was standing by the refrigerator last night, through Heath bars, Almond Joys, and
Mounds.
100 grands. But guess what he likes?
So far, you've named 2 on this list.
Guess what he likes?
What?
Whoppers. Wear it, buddy.
There's some of our friends in the TV industry. Lauren Matter, she listens a lot. Shout out, Lauren. But she and Ron Roberts are
having a fight over dots or something.
Dots or Whoppers? Which one's?
Lauren, I'm sorry.
The better lower tier candy.
I'm sorry.
Nope, I'm with her.
No, you're
dots.
wrong.
It's dots.
You're wrong.
Lucas, break the tie.
Don't you say
of those
dots.
2?
Of those 2,
yeah,
I would have to go with dots.
Dots over Whoppers. It's true. Of the lower tier candies, dots over Whoppers.
No.
There you go, David Collier. You win.
So much wrong in this world.
So some of these, I'm like, who's actually putting these in Halloween candies? First, before I get to this, fair or foul, going and grabbing candy from like Easter that you've got left over and putting it in the Halloween bucket for kids to
Foul.
get. Foul?
Foul.
Not that we do that. I was just asking.
Yeah, yeah.
It's foul.
It's foul?
Yeah.
Foul.
I mean, it's like only 6 months. Candy doesn't go bad in 6 months.
It's only half a year.
Hey, if the kids are picking out the thing with an Easter bunny on it, that's your own fault.
It's dark usually.
No, we had a porch light on. It's the rule. All right, so on this list, you named 2 already. Heath bars, 8 on the list. Almond Joys, 3 for kids to get rid of and be okay. Dad, you can have that. Some, I'm like, are you kidding me? Number 1, Dove dark chocolate bars. I don't know if I've ever seen that in a Halloween candy, really.
I didn't see any last night, but I know some people.
Do you like them?
I love them. I love dark chocolate.
Andy's chocolate mints.
Okay, I got a York peppermint patty thrown at me.
That's 9 on this list. So
Yeah.
2 mint ones that kids are cool with. Andy's chocolate mints. Oh, that's the stuff that you get at like the Olive Garden.
That's
right?
exactly what I thought.
Like,
Yeah,
who's putting that in kids?
I know that'd be good.
The problem I have with mint stuff is it makes everything around it mint. So like if it's in the
No,
it makes it minty.
no.
Number 4, not even candy, mixed nuts. I didn't see mixed nuts, but I've seen pretzels.
Saw a granola bar.
A granola bar.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's another one. Mints, like just regular peppermints or something. Kids want to get rid of those. 5 on the list, the Baby Ruth. Who drafted that? Lucas?
I got it thrown at me.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So this is a pretty accurate
I
list,
was just
apparently.
I was like, keep throwing, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put all these right here in the fridge.
So this
I
is
like my cold candy.
so far pretty accurate. We don't give the kids an option. Mom and I go and we draft. We're like, that's mine. That's mine.
That's a fun little exercise.
Yeah. 6 Butterfingers.
Yeah.
I had one of those last night.
Oh God, I love Butterfingers.
I love Butterfingers too. You had that in the draft. That was the one I was jealous of. Mentioned 7 mints, 8 Heath bars, 9 York peppermint patties, and 10th on the list, whatchamacallits. All of these things that kids are okay if you steal.
You remember those ads, the whatchamacallit ads?
That
It was just a little
before my time.
jingle.
I know what you're talking about, but
Whatchamacallit, whatchamacallit. That was it.
I've seen them, but I haven't. That was a little before my time.
And then it ended with we have a pepper bar.
Okay. Need to pull that up. I need to hear that.
You know I'm joking, right?
No, I didn't.
We have a pepper bar.
I didn't know what you were talking about until you do it. You have to do it in the voice for it to register.
Smack you in the
We
face.
love the
Wake up.
subs. Thank you. Can you do the We Love the Subs?
We love these subs.
We're going to have to hear the montage now today because it's
Yeah.
been too long.
Been like a week.
This has been longer than a week, man. It's been too long. Sour Punch Twists, Pop Rocks, Airheads, Nerds, Gummy Bears, Ring Pops, Double Bubble, Sour Patch Kids, and Pixie Sticks are the ones you're not supposed to touch. The kids want those.
Okay.
There you go.
Sugar.
Oh, it's just like straight sugar on most of those. All right, lots on your thoughts on the chat line. We'll react to your reaction. Hax has the highs and lows. We'll hear the montage coming up in a little bit as well. It's the end of the bench on 100.7 The Score.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Thank you so much for making us part of your Tuesday. You're listening to the End of the Bench on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. Alongside Geoff Haxton, I'm Chois Woodman. Jackson Frazier across the way. Don't forget, check out our podcast page up at 107thescore.com and T973.com. We've got 7 podcasts between the two to take in. We've got, of course, this show, the best of. If you happen to miss any of our shows, well, we compile it together and get you the best of each show up there at 107thescore.com. All of our other local shows, we have the weekend ones, and then the Ask Level podcast as well at T973.com. So all of those available to you. We appreciate you listening. All righty.
I'm just mesmerized by this dude that ran out of the house and went straight into Michael Jackson mode.
It's amazing. Like
he
that.
slid on the pavement for 15 feet.
Who has that kind of pavement? Like without hitting a rock and just pummeling. Yeah, that was.
It's right now. It's up on Reddit
tumbling.
College Football, Reddit CFB, and it says waking up on the first day of Maction at Max Sports, and it's Michael Jackson, a guy looking like Michael Jackson, runs out of the house and does this little routine. It's worth the watch.
Bullfighter.
Oh, we got
Bullfighter says, does he look more like Dahmer or Chucky?
Chucky, much more like Chucky.
He put the face on it.
Ooh, that's the second bad chills I've gotten from the
goodness.
chat line today.
Several questions are in. We'll get to Ask the Benchwarmers about 15 minutes away. Keep getting those in. There's some blockbuster trades. I don't know. Blockbuster's probably a little strong, but some big trades going on. Roquan Smith has been moved from the Bears this morning. And then TJ Hawkinson, tight end TJ Hawkinson, just dealt from the Lions to the Vikings. So some interesting trades going on in the NFL. Today is the trade deadline, correct? I'm looking to Jackson.
Yeah, it ends 3 o'clock
3 o'clock
Central Time.
I don't expect the Cowboys to do anything, at least not of note. There could be a small one. They already made a trade last week for Hankins on the defensive line, which he played. But, yeah, I don't expect anything extra from Dallas's perspective. We're starting to see some teams, Hacks, in the NFL. This is happening way more now than it used to. Like, some of the worst teams kind of unloading and tanking, like you see in Major League Baseball a lot at the trade deadline. Like that seems to be a move for the Lions right there, where it's, okay, we're going to get rid of one of the best tight ends in the league to be worse.
Yeah, that guy can play.
Yeah. I mean, when talking about fantasy numbers, he's one of the top 5 for sure in most years. So now let's hear a few comments from the head ball coach. Just a couple comments from yesterday. He met with the media. Joey McGuire first was asked a pretty simple one, but what specifically they're trying to work on this week going towards the TCU game.
Biggest thing is, I told him yesterday when we practiced yesterday and we're going through corrections, is we've got to do a better job of taking the ball away on defense. It's partly our fault. If it's going to be that kind of game, then we got to be more. We've got to take the ball away more, and then we've got to protect the ball. We've got to be smart in what we do, and part of that is play calling, protecting the quarterback, and then them getting the ball out on time. First interception, we were late. If we throw it whenever he's open, then it's probably a touchdown or a big play, down inside the 5, and we were late with the ball.
So then he was asked, kind of in line with that, what specific jobs are up for grabs this week?
Again, I go back, and I've said it all year long, but you can't be the brand and have competitive in your part of your brand and who you are, and not, whenever you come out of a game and different people struggle, not have other people competing for that job, And so, really, the right tackle and left tackle, there's oars by both of them. We're going to see who plays the best this week. We'll probably do a little bit more good on good this week to kind of put those guys under pressure, But at left tackle, you've got Caleb Rogers and Ethan Card. He's an older guy. He's done everything we asked, so we're going to let those two guys battle it out. And
so some positions specifically up for grabs. Didn't say quarterback there. Again, we talked about it.
Yeah, because he drove a bunch of people crazy by saying we're going to do our 3-quarterback system again.
3-quarterback system. Yeah, he already said that. Now, I look at this week, and I just think it's got to be better. I think there's no question about that. That's an easy one. But I'm also not just sitting here fuming like I have been in the past, necessarily, because we're sitting here at game 8 of the season, and that was your first real dud, right?
Time flies.
There's been plenty of years where you've had several duds by game 8 in the season. It's just where plenty of recent years, I should say, where you've had several duds. I'm not excusing it, but you also can't expect you to play great every single time out. So if you come out and you get another week like you did last week, forget who you're playing. I know you're playing TCU and you're playing the undefeated number 1 team of the Big 12 right now, but it should look better. It should look better than what we saw last week against Baylor. I asked this question to Jamie earlier this morning, but what is the one thing specifically that you were the most disappointed in? Because it was a very disappointing game as a whole, but what specifically?
Just getting mauled on the lines.
Me too. It felt like you were out toughed.
Yeah, and that's happened to Texas Tech a bunch over the years here since 2009, where you're just like, hey, I mean, you can't win football games if you're getting shoved around on the offensive. When the snaps happen, you're getting thrown around like that, you're toast. You're done.
Yeah.
So that's, and I don't know if that's just not being, if it's being extremely out talented, out weight roomed, out athletic ability. I don't know, because we've seen them get in battles.
Sure they have.
And hold their own. In Stillwater, they were, I thought it was a push in the trenches. West Virginia has some guys, and you threw them around.
You
so
did.
I don't know.
I think North Carolina State's the other one where you kind of got beat up in the trenches a little more. Baylor, far and away, was your worst there. I think if it would have been purely on the offensive line where you got manhandled, it'd be like, okay, well, you got a bad offensive line. But the fact that they beat you up on your defensive line, which has been one of your best units this year, was part that was pretty disappointing as well, at least to me. I thought that, man, it's like this is a defensive line that has done very well against the run. It's a defensive line that's carried you at times in games. But the fact that you got hit in the mouth and never really responded was the part that I think I was the most frustrated with on Saturday night. All right, now the good stuff. Get the bad stuff out of the way. Tom Brady, I say that. Divorce is not good. Tom Brady and Gisele Bündchen, they're officially done. They've issued statements on Friday saying it was amicable, they grew apart, yada, yada. Wish each other the best and will continue to do what's best for their kids. So now, according to betonline.ag, you can go vote. Or not you can go vote, but you can go look at who's next in line to date each of them. Have any guesses?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Well, the one guy that seems to be on everybody's list is Gisele's favorite. And these are pretty far off. Odds 1,200. Plus 1,200. Pete Davidson. What is it with women and that guy? I don't get it. I don't understand it. The tats and stuff. Anyway, do you understand it? You're a little younger than us. You should probably understand women better.
I don't get it to the point with him. Like
what's special about him?
I mean, I do love him. He's hilarious. I think he's a funny dude.
Is that like his big talent?
I guess he's like he does stand up and he's been in a few movies.
Jason Momoa is second on the list. Leonardo DiCaprio, but he only
Too
dates.
old.
Yeah, I was about to
Too
say he only
old.
dates women that are 25 or younger. So that's out. You're throwing your money away if you're betting on that. John Mayer, and then Brazilian soccer stud Neymar. Those are the ones that are tops on Gisele Bündchen's list. Sadly, Donald Trump is on the list, but his chances are pretty slim. His odds are plus 100,000. You can also go for the ones on Tom Brady's list. Tom's next love connection, if they're right, Taylor Swift is number one on the list. That's a pretty big gap there.
Oh, my gosh.
Odds are plus 1,400. Followed by two of Gisele's fellow supermodels, Adriana Lima and Alessandra Ambrosia, sorry. I don't know. Never heard of her. And then Kim Kardashian, Halle Berry.
Out of all those, what's your choice?
Oh, man. Probably one of the supermodels. I don't know. I don't want a song written about me by Taylor Swift.
I'm taking Halle Berry.
Halle Berry would be up there, but she's a little old for me. It's the end of the bench on 100.7 The Score. Ask the Benchwarmers next.
definitely not the starters. You're on the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
That's right. It's time for Ask the Benchwarmers. Get your questions in right now. Yates Flooring Center chat line to the 100.7 The Score mobile app and at 107thescore.com. We'll take them there through the Twitter as well, at 107 The Score, or call us up, 806-771-0973 on the Benchmark hotline. He's Hax. I'm Chois. Jackson across the way. Questions for any and all of us are welcome. And several have rolled in on the chat line, Hax, so let's go ahead and dive straight into them. How about the Duncanville basketball programs getting the hammer dropped on them?
Yeah, I saw that.
So both, right? I think
it was yesterday, it was the women's news, and then today, I think the guys' news.
the guys came out yesterday, too. That's when I saw it, at least. So
stripped of their championship
and then
over McKinney.
Yeah, suspension, I think, for the women, the girls. Yeah. So bad stuff.
Is David Peavy the coach
at Duncanville?
Of Duncanville?
I think he still is, yeah. I don't think he was suspended. I think the women's coach got suspended. I think. I haven't read deep into the
Micah
stories.
Peavy's dad.
Right. So, but playing ineligible players for both situations is my understanding. Someone asked a little earlier in the program, does Smith transfer in the offseason? I think Donovan Smith has two options, in my opinion. Who knows? Injuries-wise, you could see Donovan Smith back as a starter by the end of the year. You never know what happens. You're one or two snaps away.
Well, just take a guess.
Yes, is my short answer. But I think his other option is...
We have no information. We have none. Our intuition, kind of how we feel about it. And I would say yes as well.
Yeah. The other option for Donovan Smith, option one is to transfer, go try to play quarterback somewhere else. Option two is to switch to receiver and try to be a stud there. And in my personal opinion, just from what I've seen from Donovan, I think if he wants to play NFL football, that might be his better route, is to become a receiver or tight end or whatever. He's a big-bodied dude that can go up and get the football. That was seen in high school. But you never know. South Texas Ambassador Preston says, what's your grade on Kitley at this point in the season? I give him a C+.
I would too.
I'd probably go a little higher, but I mean,
passing grade with room for improvement.
I think I'd probably go a flat B, which is just over that. Just because he's had to juggle three quarterbacks and had success still doing so in general. I mean, he's
A for tempo.
A for tempo. There's not a faster team in the country when Tech is going at its fastest.
You know your guy John Canzano?
My guy. Yeah, I know him.
Did you see what he tweeted just now?
I did.
Some poetic news, noon today.
Oh, boy.
Ah.
What are we getting from the Pac-12?
Yeah, what are we going to get?
I'm very curious now. Like, what does he know? Is there anything real?
Yeah.
Oh, watch, it's probably going to be something very underwhelming.
Yeah, I celebrated National Calzone Day. That would be the breaking news there, maybe.
Choice, did you finish the apple? I did, actually. The whole thing, not the core. But
no drugs?
Not that I know of. I don't know. I've been more hyper.
No.
So, no, I think it was actually quite tasty. Like, it got better and better. I was, like, very impressed.
Was that like little marshmallows on it or something?
It was white chocolate.
Yeah.
White chocolate, but those were just the little pieces. Mostly dark chocolate, or mostly milk chocolate. It's really good. With caramel, too. So phase one, very well. Now, we'll see what happens in a couple of hours if anything goes awry. Kobe says, I'm more disappointed by the D-line getting work. I expected on offense, but not defense. They played smash mouth football and got punched in the mouth. I'm trying to find the questions. Benchwarmers, if you could steal any single player from another Big 12 team and add them to Tech, who would you go with? Any single Big 12 player. Huh. You know, my general answer on this is like, I want to say an offensive lineman, and then I
want to say Deuce Vaughn, but I don't know how much he can run behind that line.
I get myself out of the answer
It's a great
of offensive
question.
line because I'm like, well, how much does one guy make a difference? But I'd say one could make a big difference if you're really struggling. Oh, man. If you added
There have been
another-
years where an immediate kicker would have been taken.
Yes, there have.
That's not this year.
No. Hax, I think if you added another pass rusher, true pass rusher, the two-name guy from Kansas State that I have trouble saying his name.
Yeah, he's a
and
terror.
Duque, if you added him to the other side of Tyree Wilson, man, think about how dominant you could be.
You'd look a lot like the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. Or you're just living in the backfield. So that might be my answer. I mean, him. Who else?
Quinn Ewers.
The Baylor offensive lineman.
Tongue in cheek, just a joke.
Well, I mean, I even pondered when I read this, Max Duggan. I thought about it. I'm like, but still, what's he doing if he's having to run for his life the whole time and forever?
Probably gets hurt.
So I think I'm going either the Baylor offensive lineman, I can't think of his name right now, off the top of my head, their best one, the highest graded one, or the Duque guy from K-State are probably my options. Because really, I mean, I feel good about your defense as a whole. You've done pretty well in the secondary this year. You've done pretty well in the linebackers. Oh, you know what? Johnston from TCU. That might be my answer. So you could really use just one big playmaker on the outside that could go up and get the football and burn people.
And I think he's by far the best in the league.
Yeah, so I think that's probably my answer. That would be a nice.
That Knowles cap from K-State's
Knowles
good.
pretty good, yeah, but they don't use him near as much. They use him, but not like some
Kick
offenses
returns. When he gets the ball in the open field, he's tough.
would. Horace, awesome name, by the way. Love Horace. What? Halle Berry? She is gorgeous. Come on, man.
Yeah, that's a
That
no-brainer
was
for
stupid.
me.
I say about 50 stupid things a day. That was one of them. David Peavy did get a 1-year suspension. Thank you for the correction there. Thank you. Wow. That's crazy. So, like, my question is, do they still get paid by the school district? Does he just sit there as an employee for the school district and not coach? Like, wonder how
I don't
that
know.
works.
I mean, some guys are teachers as well. I don't know what his contract looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you suspended with or without pay? Because that would be kind of important.
Yeah. Someone says Donnie's too slow to be a wide receiver, right? I think he would surprise you in the open field.
He's too big.
Yeah, I think he's probably
He's a tight end.
tight end. Yeah. Who would y'all like to see the Cowboys trade for? Wide receiver, offensive line, different position? I don't think you can get.
Jerry Jones.
There we go. Forget whatever I was going to say. That's the best answer. I don't think there's a realistic trade out there. that
He's
the
been
Cowboys
traded
could
to the
do.
yacht.
Amari Cooper, as long as the cap didn't take a hit. Just impossible. Bench sitters, will Choice get y'all canceled before the end of the year? I'm going to go no. Hadn't happened up to this point. I say this, Rob Verby never got canceled. So we're good. I think we're way safe. We're way under the Rob Verby line right now. We're measuring against
Yeah,
that.
but could Verb? I know it's been just a short amount of time.
Yeah, it's different.
But it's
It is
different.
It is. Like
Could he still be going
even 3 years later? Yeah, it's
3 years later when it's more touchy?
I know,
Even
what if
more
Verb-
touchy.
Verby never went through the COVID year, like with us. Wonder what he would have been like.
Oh my gosh! On Zoom,
Oh,
can you
my
imagine
gosh.
that?
I can, and it doesn't seem good. Shelly's asking, Benchies, will Hax return from Hawaii or adopt a new name and ID and hide out under a palm tree until the end of his days? Glad you're getting that experience.
It reminds me of Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Paul Rudd,
Yeah.
when he just moved out there
Just moved out there.
and changed his name to Kunu.
That's what she's
His name's
going
Kunu.
for. Kudu.
Yeah, I don't even wear a watch anymore.
I'm hoping Hax.
Well, I got one on my cell phone. I don't need such good lines.
I'm hoping Hax returns because it'll be a little hard to
Get up.
do this without him.
Pop up. Faster.
And there's no way Verb would wear pants on Zoom. Yeah, 0 chance.
Yeah.
But I did that a few times, too. That's it for us. Appreciate you.
We made another one.
We made it. We made another one. For Geoff Haxton, Jackson Frazier, I'm Chois Woodman. It's been the End of the Bench on 100.7 The Score. The bottom line heads your way next.
This has been the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score. Go to 107thescore.com for more from the Double T Sports Network.